Start. Good morning and hello everyone. My name is SYAKIRAH binti ISHAMUDIN.
And my name is Aina UMAIRAH binti ABDUL.
Today we have our friend with us, Sam Ching, a Malaysian Chinese who will share her unique insights on navigating intercultural communication challenges, especially as a student in a multicultural society in Malaysia.
So, her educational journey has been pretty diverse. She started at SJKC Chongqing 2 from 2012 to 2017. Then moved on to SMK Cenderawasih from 2018 to 2023. Right now, she is studying at KTE Astana, continuing her studies and exploring new things.
What makes Ching really stand out is her experience with intercultural communication. Over the years, she's interacted with people from all kinds of backgrounds, which has helped her adapt to different environments and understand different perspectives. On top of that, she comes from a Chinese family, so she's got a deep understanding of cultural nuances and how communication works across cultures.
Well, we decided to have Huaqing here today because of her unique mix of experiences. We are really excited to hear her experience on how culture impacts communication and what she had learned from navigating different culture spaces.
So without further ado, let's jump into it. Hi, Ching.
Hi,
Thank you for joining us today. Could you introduce briefly about yourself?
my name is Samwa Cheng and I'm 20 years old for this year. Now I'm studying in KTE Astana.
Okay, now, shall we start with our first question?
Sure.
Okay, so watching, you had the chance to interact with people from a variety of cultural backgrounds throughout your studies. And we would like to know, what does the term intercultural communication mean to you? How would you define it in your own words?
To me, intellectual communicate is about understanding and connecting with people who come from different cultural backgrounds. It's not just about speaking different language, but also about being aware from culture difference in how people express themselves, like their tones, gesture, or ways of showing about learning how to navigate those differences while finding way to communicate and build good relationships.
Hmm. We would like to know, what are some common communication misunderstandings that happen between Chinese and non-Chinese students in school?
The most common problem is that we Chinese does not understand the language of non-Chinese people. Of course, we understand the basic communication, but we culture some more profound or uncommon words, so we have to guess their meaning. The second problem is that some words have too many meanings. It will lead to my misunderstanding of their meaning.
Okay. So next, when interacting with classmates of different ethnicities, do you find that certain topics are avoided or handled differently to maintain harmony or respect?
Yes, definitely. Sensitive topic like religions, politics, and races are usually avoided, especially in diversity group. For example, I would be careful when talking about a food preference or custom because I don't know accidentally often someone believe. Sometimes we also avoid talking about family issue or anything too personal that those can be viewed different in other culture.
I see. Right now you're studying in Pahang, right?
Yes.
And Pahang has its own dialect. So do you think using dialect in daily conversations help to build connections, or do you think it could create barriers?
Um, I think it can do both, honestly, because for me, about four languages that I can to speak. Using dialect in daily conversation can make it definitely help build connection. If the other person understand it, it also will make things feel more personal and show a bit of your definitely. But at the same times, if person does not understand the dialect, it might create a barriers or make them feel left out. So it really depends on who you are talking to. If it's mixed group or someone from a different backgrounds, it's probably better use the Malay or English so everyone can follow the conversation. But also if you you know the person is does not understand your dialect language, but you also use the language, it means you are disrespectful the person.
Okay. Okay. So, next question. Are there certain gestures or body language that are used in your family or cultural group that you may not use in school or with non-Chinese classmates?
In my family, we tend to show respect through subtle gesture like lowering our gaze when speaking to elder to give or receive something important. But in a school or with a non-Chinese classmate, this gesture might not to be understood or even noticed. Instead, I might use more common gesture like smiling or nothing to show friendliness and respect.
Okay. So, how do you adjust your language or tone when speaking with your Malay or Indian classmates compared to speaking with your Chinese friends?
I try to use more natural language and avoid slang or idiom that are common in Chinese. For example, when I speak to Malay or Indian classmates, I will stick to English or use the simple word, and I will trying to more expressive because they might not pick up on subtle hints as easily. With the Chinese classmate, I'm more relaxed and might use dialect or certain phrase that we all understand.
Okay.
Okay, now I want to ask you, are there any non-verbal signs or gestures used by other culture that are considered rude or disrespectful in Chinese culture?
Of course, for example, pointing with your finger can be seen as rude in Chinese culture, especially if you are pointing at the person. Also, tapping your feet or resting your leg on a chair might be seen a culture in someone cultures, but disrespectful in ours. And using one hand to give something important, like give, and it also will come across as impolite.
Okay. So you also have Malay friends, right? And Indian friends, maybe? So have you ever had a moment where someone misunderstood you because of how something was said in Chinese? If yes, how did you explain or fix the situation?
Of course, have many moments that someone misunderstood. For example, the phrase "you are fat" in Chinese, which is more of a cultural observation and not mean as insult in our culture. But when I say it to a non-Chinese friend, they were really upset because it sounded rude. And I had to explain that in Chinese culture, it's more like pointing out the charities, and I did not mean to afford. Now I'm much more carefully with how I translate word and phrase when I talking
Okay.
to.
Okay. Understand? So you said that you have Malay and Indian friends, right? So do you think the use of humor or sarcasm in communication differs between the Chinese and other communities in Malaysia? If so, how do you use humor with different groups to avoid misunderstandings?
Of course, humor is definitely different. In Chinese culture, humor tend to be more subtle or based on wordplay. But as far as I know, in other communities, humor can be more direct or sarcastic. Sarcasm, in particular, is not very common in Chinese culture, and it can sometimes come across a rule. When I'm with non-Chinese friends, I'm trying to adapt by using simple joke or avoiding circums together to make sure my humor does not get misinterpreted.
Hmm. Are there any words in Malay that that your Malay classmates use that as a humor, but you think is rude? Are there any?
Uh, I remember one word is tokmu. I think
What? What? Sorry, what?
tokmu. The example word
Oh.
is tokmu. I think it is disrespectful when you use the word.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Okay. So as for our last question, are there any specific non-verbal signs you observe in Chinese culture settings that are not as common in other ethnic communities?
Of course, they have non-verbal six. For example, another person cannot painting the shoulder or head to another people, because in Chinese we trust in our shoulder and our head have three fire. If you painting our shoulder and head, the fire will going out and it will bring some bad luck to ours. So the Chinese people will not do the things which is painting shoulder or hair to another people.
I see. That's interesting.
Yes, that's a new information for us.
Yeah.
So I think that it's all from us, me, Aina, and my partner, ATIYAH. Thank you so much for watching for today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you for your time and thank you
Yes.
for helping us.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Bye, Ho Chi.
Bye.